So hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. I hope you're having a great day. And here we are, the last step. Now I don't know what number this is. I forgot, and I ain't got time to go look and see. I think it's 4 or 5 or something like that. But this is the last part. I've prepped the ground. I've killed off the fescue. I've prepped the dirt, leveled it up, seeded, fertilized, put some biostimulants on it, and it's ready. Okay, now I don't care what kind of seeds you use. I don't care what kind of fert you use. I don't care what kind of RGS you use. If you don't water it, it ain't coming up. Okay, that's the bare bones facts. Okay, lots of folks do their seeding, their renovation, their aeration and seeding, and they say, oh well, I'm gonna just wait on the rain, and the rain don't come, and then the following year, well, why does my yard look bad? I said, well, because it wasn't watered. Water's the key. Without the water, none of it works. Okay, none of it works. So, question is, well, how much do I water this? Well, I keep this really, really simple. Very simple. Okay, when God created you, He gave you 5 cool senses. You can see, you can touch, you can smell, you can taste, and you can hear. Okay, now we're only going to use 2 of those, and if you get real good, you can only use 1. We're going to use our sense of touch and our sense of sight. Okay, 1, you can touch the dirt with your palm of your hand, and you can feel if that dirt is dry or if it's moist. And not trying to be stupid or funny right here, but if you don't get the concept between the 2, take you a sponge and set that sponge in the windowsill and let that sponge dry out. Okay, and I want you to touch that sponge and feel that sponge will feel dry. Then I want you to stick it up under the sink and fill it up with water and mash a little bit out of it, set it back up there and then touch it. And you'll feel the difference. And I ain't trying to make nobody sound stupid or nothing, but I'm going off everything I say. You're going off experience of 15 years, and I've heard it all. Okay, so that's why I like to really break things down and get it as simple as I can, so that everybody gets it. So you can touch the ground, and you can feel the moisture in the ground. You want to keep it moist continuously from the time you start watering all the way up until at least the first frost. Okay, at least that far. Okay, because then after that, things are going to start to shut down. Typically, the ground is cooler, the air's cooler, the ground holds moisture better. That big ball of goodness dictates how much water you have to use. Okay, if it's hotter, you use more. If it's not as hot, you don't use as much. So the second thing you can use is your eyes. Okay, God gave you some really cool eyes that you can see things with. And I'm going to set my big sprinkler up. I'm going to do a time lapse of 20 minutes. I'm going to set my timer on my other phone, let this thing run for 20 minutes, and then we're going to come back and look at it. And I want you to watch during this time lapse. I want you to watch the ground change color. It's going to get darker, okay? And so when you get real good at this, you can almost ride down the road and look at a renovation job and say, well, they're watering that good, or they're not watering that good, because the color of the dirt will tell you whether it's moist or not. Now, one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to water it so much that it puddles up or starts trickling off or running down. Now, if you're on a slope, that means you may have to run less minutes, more times per day. If you're a flat area, you can run more minutes, less times per day. I'm gonna run this for 20 minutes, see where I'm at, and then I will, off what the ground looks like then I will base my time off how long I need to run it and how many times a day. So here we go. All right, so there you go. That was over the course of about 20 minutes or so. Now, that big sprinkler puts out quite a bit of water, okay? And it's a nice even fan, and it coats the ground real good. I got one little corner it's not hitting, and over there. So I'm gonna adjust it and help it throw just a little bit further because I got it dialed back a little bit. And so that's it. That's all there is to it. Now I've seen that it takes about 20 minutes to get this good and wet. I'll probably run it in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock or so. Then I'll probably run it about midday, noon time or so. Then I don't know, 3, 4, 5 o'clock or something like that. And I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Be diligent with this. I'm gonna keep an eye on it because I don't want water pooling up. And if you see the color change, this is what I was talking about. Use your eyes. If you see the color start going back to a lighter color, you know you need to either add more minutes or you need to add more times during the day. You know, you may have to water it 4 times a day. I don't know. Everybody's dirt's so different. That's why nobody will ever really give you water it this, and this, because that's very difficult to do because everybody's dirt is so different. Your temperatures are different. Your climate's different. Everything's different all over the country. So this will give you a basic guideline to help you get going. And then you use your hands and your eyes and your gifts God gave you to manage it. It's easy, pretty simple. Now, once you start getting germination, okay, you can continue that same pattern for maybe 2 or 3 days or so, because you want to continually, because all the seed ain't going to germinate at the same time. You may have a little bit here, a little bit there. It may come up patchy a little bit, and you just keep at it with water. When you look like you got 100% germination and you got good coverage, then you can start to back off of the times per day. You can go 2 times per day. You can even go 1 time per day. The further we get into fall, the lower the temperatures are going to go. The ground's going to hold moisture better. So you can get away with 1 time a day. You can get away with 1 time every other day. You see where I'm going? You have to you start here and wet, and then as you get into fall, you kind of decrease, because the ground is going to hold moisture better, so it won't take as much water. And once you start mowing, getting everything cut, then you can start going to your deep and infrequent, an inch a week. And be very careful with that. Very careful. Because if it's cool, the turf may not want 1 inch a week. You don't want us to get the ground soggy, okay? The ground still needs to be a little firm, but moist, okay? So we don't want nobody drowning their yard out by running 10 hours of irrigation a week. You know what I mean? That's summertime stuff, okay? We just want to get the grass going, give it plenty of water, keep the ground moist, headed into fall, and you'll be good to go. So, hey, I hope you've liked this series. I'm really excited to see some Kentucky bluegrass here in North Carolina. Now, I intentionally put it behind this building because during the dead heat of the day, we're in the afternoon now, you can see it's getting a little bit of sun. The sun's wrapped all the way around, but in the dead, smoking hot heat of the day, this building shades this area. So I use this building to my advantage and see if that'll help, because I know bluegrass is a little bit different animal than fescue as far as it needs a lot more water. You care for it pretty much the same way. It just requires more water, but over the winter, I'm gonna trench me out a line right here and put me an irrigation system right here. The timer in the building, we'll hook all that up this winter, and that way I can keep all this good and watered, and we'll see how old Pete can grow some Kentucky blue. So hey, I've had fun. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. I just want you to get your renovation right. That's all. See you later.